All right, boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of the Traveling P Roadshow. For today's episode, I'll be your host, Coach Brian. My special guest joining us again is my sister, Victoria. Victoria, you want to say anything to the boys and girls out there at Aston Elementary?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here today and learn a new game because it's going to be my first time playing soccer golf.
Awesome. Yes, I'm excited to do this activity as well. It is very similar to our softball golf lesson that we did in our previous unit. All right. So, a couple things we need to use from previous lessons. Some pieces of equipment you're going to need. You're going to need something that marks your tee box. Again, Coach Brian doesn't expect you to have these cones numbered like so laying around your house. So again, a little bit of creativity goes a long way in this activity. You need something that indicates your tee box. The tee box, if you remember from our softball lesson, is where we start from. All right. So in a second, Victoria's going to follow me around and I'm going to show you our 7-hole soccer golf course. But we need a tee box at each hole, and you also need a hole. All right, so we're going to use hula hoops for our holes. And again, I don't expect you to have 7 hula hoops laying around. If you do, awesome. Always feel free to use them. But again, being a little bit creative and thinking outside the box, just off the top of my head, I would maybe use something like a bucket, maybe a trash can, maybe a stinky shoe laying around. Maybe you can roll up a sock ball, and that could be your target. And the object is to get the ball as close to the sock ball or get the ball as close to the trash can as possible. Again, it's not a perfect world right now. We need to be creative. Just stopping and saying, Coach, I don't have a soccer ball, or I can't do this lesson because I don't have this, right, isn't a really great excuse. I understand things are tight. You can always grab a ball from the dollar store. Maybe a neighbor has one. I don't know. I'm just coming up with different ideas and different ways that you can compete and play this lesson because it's a lot of fun. So here's how it works. We have a tee box at each hole, and we have a hole. You need a soccer ball. Again, doesn't necessarily have to be a soccer ball. Could be a basketball. Could be a dollar store ball. Could be a fitness ball. That would even jack up and make the game that much more fun, right? Like an exercise ball, one of those big ones mom or dad might have laying around. A little heavier, a little harder to kick, but the idea is there. So here's how it works. Hole 1's over here. Victoria's going to grab the camera. She's going to follow me to hole number 1. Coach Brian's going to explain the course, and then myself and Victoria are going to compete. So hole 1, I purposely put behind the bench. So there's 2 ways you can go at it. You can try and go through the bench, or you have to go around. Every hole in this course is a par 2. If you remember from our softball golf lesson, par means the amount of strokes it takes to get the ball in the hole. So if everything's a par 2, I have 2 attempts to try and get it in the hole. If I get it in 1 shot, that would be a hole in 1 or an eagle. If I get in 3 shots, that would be a bogey. 4 shots would be a double bogey. 5 shots and so on would be a quadruple bogey and so forth. All right. So Coach Brian's going to go, I don't know, I guess the safer route on this one. I'm not going to try and go through the bench and go for the hole in 1. I'm going to have to kind of curve it around. So that would be 1 stroke. Again, it's inside the hole. And for our sake, as long as it goes inside the hole, doesn't necessarily have to stay in the hole, it counts as good. All right? So that would be a par 2 for hole number 1. Moving on to hole number 2. When I kick the soccer ball, again, I want to use my instep. I want to keep the ball on the ground. The hole isn't that far. I'm not trying to overpower or shoot at a soccer goal. I really want to use finesse and less power in this case. So again, I get it. Oh my goodness, a little too long. The trampoline saved me. Again, if you've ever played putt-putt, a little bit of relief here. You can pull the ball out so you can get your foot behind it. You don't necessarily have to kick it if it's leaning up against somebody. All right, so again, hole number 2, that would be a par 2. Hole number 3 is over here. I'm going to use that orange hula hoop because we ran out of hula hoops. I'm going to use that for 2 holes. So hole number 3, a little bit further. I'll use a little bit more power. I'll hustle over. Hopefully tap it in. Not quite a tap in. Oh, we'll count that. So again, a par 2 would be my score there. All right, so hole number 4. Again, we'll use that orange hula hoop. A little bit of left to right. And Coach Brian got it to stay inside the hula hoop. That would be a hole in 1 or an ace or a birdie in our case because everything's a par 2. Moving on to hole number 5. Now, there's a couple different ways we can do this. As you can see, we have the big trampoline in the middle. So we can go right through the trampoline if we're feeling dangerous, or we can go around the outside. Coach Brian always likes to live dangerously. So I'm going to go right through the middle. Oh, my goodness. And as you can see, unfortunately, I got stuck underneath the trampoline. So I'm going to have to take a stroke, meaning I pull the ball out from underneath the trampoline. That counts as a stroke. So right now, I'm on a 2. I tap it in. That would be a 3 on that score, right? Because I had to use my hand and pull the ball out from the trampoline, I actually had to use a stroke there. So I bogeyed that hole. Hole number 6, a little bit more difficult hole. We got some rocks in the way. Got to use a little finesse. Oh, and just in and out. Again, we'll use a little bit of relief. We'll pull it away from the rocks. A little tap in for a score of 2. And hole number 7, a little further, oh my goodness, I did not hit it nearly hard enough. That would be stroke number 1. Hopefully I can manage to salvage par, and I finish with another par. All right, so that's how Coach Brian's course works. Right now, you're going to watch me and Victoria compete. All right, we're going to play this course out and see who has the better score after 7 holes. All right, here we go. And just like magic, we're at hole number 1. Victoria's up. I believe Coach Brian parred this last time, just put a little added pressure on her. But Victoria, she can go through the bench or around the bench. Totally up to her. And in golf, we have to be very silent, all right? It's a quiet game. Go ahead, Doris. Oh, she took the risky route. She went through the bench, however, not nearly hard enough. She's looking at a par. All right, so she got a 2 on that hole. We're going to follow Victoria around. Why don't you play hole number 2, Torres, which is that hole, and you're going towards the purple hula hoop. All right, so Victoria parred that hole. Nice work. All right. All right. So a nice little tap in for par. There she goes. She's on track. All right. She got a 2 on that hole, another par. So hole number 3, Torres, you come to this cone and you're going to use the orange hula hoop up there. All right. So we use the orange hula hoop because we ran out of materials. We had to improvise a little bit, but no worries. Victoria, oh my goodness, a little distance. She left a lot of meat on that bone. Not a quite tap in. Could this be the first? Oh, and she salvages it. She pars it. I thought that was going to be her first bogey of the day. Hole number 4, little breaker, left to right, little hill involved. Got to curve it. Oh, I'll give her credit for that. That was a hole in 1. All right. So she's tied with Coach Brian right now. However, she's coming up to pesky hole number 5. All right. This is the trampoline hole. What route is she going to take? Is she going to try and go aggressive and go through the trampoline or go to the left or the right? Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, she hit the post of the trampoline and she left a lot to be desired. Oh, however, she made an incredible recovery and is only inches away from the hole. What a heck of a shot. If you remember, she gets a little bit of relief here, but if you remember, Coach Brian also bogeyed this hole. You can pull it out, Torres. All right. So she bogeyed that hole. All right. And going into hole number 6, we are all tied up. All right. We both bogeyed pesky hole number 5. Hole number 6, she gets a hole in 1 here. Oh my goodness. All right. So it's close to the rocks. Again, she gets some relief. She can pull it out. Can only imagine she's going to tap it in. All right, we are all tied up going into hole number 7 right now. If she gets a hole in 1 here, hang on, Torres, hang on. I just want to add a little pressure on this hole, if you will. If she gets a hole in 1 here, she wins Sockball Golf Extravaganza at the Ara household. Let's see. Oh my goodness! And in dramatic fashion, Victoria puts a hole in 1 on hole number 7, the last hole in the course, to win the whole thing. Torres, that was awesome. Congratulations. Very exciting stuff over here at the Ara household. Boys and girls, I would love to see what you do with your soccer golf lesson. Again, I understand we don't necessarily have the hula hoops, the cones laying around, but anything you can come up with to create your own soccer golf, I would love to see it. As always, feel free to send me videos and pics of you working hard on Schoology. If you have any questions, also always feel free to send me those as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. Hopefully you enjoyed myself and Victoria playing. That was really fun, really dramatic. What a finish. Love to see what you guys do. As always, keep those pics and vids coming. This is Coach Brian and Victoria. Victoria, say goodbye to the boys and girls. Signing off. Have a great rest of the day.